The Santee and Cooper Rivers have always been the lifeblood of our community. It's our history, it's our economy, it's our environment. And keeping these rivers and lands around them pristine and available to our community is necessary to preserving our roots, our home where we come from, our sense of place. These lands and waters are more than shades on a map. They are what makes our home our home. Saving them is tantamount to saving the heart and soul of our community.
Charlie had gone to a meeting in Columbia where he had met some folks with the Palmetto Conservation Foundation, and they were talking about this unknown sort of organization called Land Trust at that time. He said, I got something I want to talk to you about. That's the way Charlie always started every conversation that was going somewhere. And he started talking about what he learned about land trusts. And we talked probably for about an hour, and it immediately became obvious that we need one of these.
He was a very good steward of the land, Mr. Parker was. And he did a lot there to preserve a share of the Cooper River, getting the first easement that gave us something to go on and showed what could be done.
The Lordsburg Conservation Trust has been around for 25 years, and when they started back in 1992, it's amazing how much they accomplished just with volunteers alone. They saved 20 miles of the Cooper River, about 20,000 acres on the Cooper River, and in some of the other watersheds we work in.
The growth that's coming here is not all bad. It's good. Growth is good for any community. It's just a matter of how you manage it. But quality of life is also about being able to enjoy the environment that you're in, to have places to go, to take your children, to enjoy the countryside, enjoy the waterways, to not always be in some sort of concrete jungle.
One of our early employees, a guy named Ken Strom, said to me in an offhand remark one day, you know, Charleston will be here one day. This thing's got to get bigger. And I said, oh, Ken, Charleston will never be here. But I never forgot that.
No matter what time of day I come out here, whether it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I see the traffic bumper to bumper from Somerville all the way into Charleston. The volume and the rate of development is just, exploding. And that is exciting in terms of growth and economic vitality for our communities that have been, desperate for that, but it also puts all of our natural resources at risk.
There are few places as rich in history as our region of South Carolina. The Trust pays very close attention to protecting the historic places that tell our story. For instance, in September 2016, we secured $2 million needed to close on the purchase of the historic Fort Fairlawn site, along with 80 surrounding acres.
The Fort Fairlawn project is a project designed to save and forever preserve an extant Revolutionary War fortification. Historically, it's a one-of-a-kind in the state of South Carolina and is a rare commodity within the entire nation. This is a most significant historic site related to the Revolutionary War and provides us a real opportunity not just to tell the stories of how liberty was forged in South Carolina, but invite the public to come see the fortification itself, which still survives.
I just think it's so vital to our society that you don't lose the touch with the land, that you always have that common bond. It's important.
We started farming 7 years ago?
Yep, 6 years ago.
6 years. And we got rid of our screen printing company and started farming.
It's wonderful. We're taking the same thing that we're giving our family and we're giving it to another family. And it's good to give them something that's good for you.
With such a pressure of development around from every direction, it seems like in our area, that when you can conserve just small pieces here and there, you can create little green areas that make the entire area better. They just make it more peaceful.
In the past 2 years, we've really made a lot of headway towards saving some of these other watersheds that we've decided to focus on, namely the Santee, the Ashley, and the Four Hole Swamp. It's just tremendous amount of growth that's happening now. And so really what we're facing is a race to secure the landscapes. Every time you go get a glass of water out the sink, most people aren't really thinking about where it came from or how it got there or what condition it's in. But water is something that we should not take for granted, and it affects job creation, it affects your quality of life. There's nothing more elemental than having clean water. One of the most effective ways to ensure that you do have clean water is by protecting the lands along these main river corridors.
We need green places. We all see the pressure of growth, and which leads to development. And so if family farms are lost, then the rural heritage of our state is lost. And that's part of who we are.
As of this year, we protected nearly 35,000 acres of land and 40 miles of river frontage.
Development can happen anytime, so protection needs to be on the front end right now.
When we first started out, it's more than achieved this goal because, we never would have expected this. But thank goodness it's here.
This is looking far, far into the future, and not for our generation, but for generations to come.
It's really one of the most important places to preserve and to maintain the value of the ecology in the swamp.
It's not that it won't be hard. It's not that there won't be threats and challenges, but there is a team assembled now that's prepared to deal with them. And if we're just steadfast and committed and ambitious, I think we'll protect this place and make it even better in the future.
Our part of South Carolina is rich with history, scenic beauty, and unspoiled natural lands. By preserving these historic sites, green spaces, rivers and waterways, and other special places in our community, you help protect our sense of place in an ever-changing world.